Right, hello guys, what's going on? How are you all? It's been Christmas now, it's the 28th or 27th, 28th. I hope you guys had a very nice Christmas. Hope you got everything that you wanted. Hope you had a nice Boxing Day, hope you ate a lot of food and had some good time with family. Me and Hannah now are just walking up this path to go see Donington Castle. You've seen it in a few other videos I've done, but we've come here, which you can probably already guess by the title. I've got a new camera, and guess what? It's full frame, and guess what? It's a Sony. It's a Sony A7Rii. I'm over the moon that I've got this camera. I've had it for like 2 days, I've been testing it out, only indoors, like a little bit outside, so I haven't really done a full shoot with it. I don't really know what to say because I'm still like getting into it. So we've come here today to do first impressions and hands-on. Woo! This camera now, I'm still vlogging on the 7D, I've still got that one. Still got this Canon, but yeah, A7Rii, let's get into it. Foggy! I've had to put it in my microphone because I don't want to get it scratched. So just, oh my god, the quality guys is insane. That's my 20mm to 1.4 Sigma. So here is the boy. Check it out, it's got my Canon 50mm with the Sigma MC11 adapter on there. So I can fit my Canon EF lenses on. Look at that. Wow. I mean, my first impression was, I think it's quality and how small the camera is. It's such nice materials. Canons do nice materials as well, but this just feels more refined. It feels more solid. I don't know, all the buttons click nicely. They all have a nice clickiness to them. I don't know, it just feels much better quality than what I've been shooting on before. So it's been about a year now, I've been thinking about changing my camera setup. It's been a long, hard decision what to do, either to go for Sony, either to go for Canon full frame, or even Nikon to change my whole setup, because I've been shooting on these Canons for so many years now. I had the 7D Mark I, and before that I had a Canon PowerShot, and this is the Mark II 7D. So I'm very used to the Canon kind of menu system and how they shoot and what the quality is like through their APS-C size sensors. It was so long to finally make my decision to swap to another brand, Sony, but I think I'm very happy with it. I mean, first impressions, I just love this camera. Some of you might know that my brother, he has the same camera, and I've been jealous ever since he's got it. It shoots, it's just a little bit slower. I mean, because when you take a photo, you see the playback, and it takes a while to get back to the shooting mode. But with that, I've taken more care in taking the photos, and I've shot a lot on manual focus as well. Because of the focus peaking, my Canon 7D doesn't have focus peaking. This has zebra as well, which helps you with exposing your images. So it's just a more refined technology, and it allows you to do more things with the camera. Very long anticipation to what this camera will feel like when I finally have it. I mean, obviously my brother has the same camera, but he's been in San Francisco for 5 months, so I couldn't really shoot. I couldn't really test out the camera before I made the decision to switch. So it was very I don't really know what to say, because it's been such a long transition to try and make this work, and with my camera setup at the moment with my lenses, so I've got to check that they work. I've got to check my workflow. I checked one of the file sizes of one of the photos, just one photo, the file size. For the first couple of days I shot in RAW, uncompressed, right? 85 megabytes for one photo, RAW uncompressed file. So I put them on my laptop yesterday, and it had a very hard time just opening it in just a normal Apple thing that you open, you view photos. Pressing right to go to the next photo, it took about 5 to 10 seconds to show me the next photo. So I'm probably going to shoot RAW compressed, so that would be 42 megapixels, but it would still probably have some lag in Lightroom and stuff. So I had to factor in that with my workflow. Is it going to slow down? Is it going to be quicker? Lenses, I've got to see if they work. So for my lenses to work correctly, I had to get a converter. Now, I've been on YouTube and looked at hundreds of views with the Metabones adapter, the MC11 by Sigma, and the Comlight adapters and all them, and I have 2 Sigma lenses and one Canon EF and an EF-S lens, which I'm shooting on now. So it made more sense to go with the Sigma, because both my Sigma lenses have Canon mounts. So if I got the MC11 adapter, they would fit, they'll work with the autofocus, they'll work with the eye focusing as well. and they work with focus peaking, and so I can put them on there and they work perfectly with the camera. This is not like a technical review, I'll probably do like several videos. Sony paired with Sigma 20mm 1.4. I'll shoot like a little sample video or something like that to show you. It's very awesome with that lens on, but now I've got my Canon 50mm. This is an EF full frame 50mm, so this is actually now 50mm. On my Canon it was zoomed into about 70. So I'm shooting the correct millimeter with an adapter. Autofocus works on this camera with the lens. So I'm very surprised of how, when paired with a Canon lens to a Sigma converter on a Sony body, I'm really surprised at how actually well it works. So if I record now, I autofocus there, autofocus on the castle, autofocus on the rock. I mean, it does hunt a little bit. This lens is very old, so I'm surprised it works that well. I watched tons of reviews and they do say like sometimes non-native lenses do hunt and stuff. So those are things I had to factor in to make sure that I had made the right decision. And like, as soon as I turned the camera on and as soon as I took a picture, I just instantly thought like, yes, this is such a nice camera to shoot on. I'm like in love with it already. This is probably my favorite so far. A 50 with the Sony, and I use manual focus. So I've got focus peaking on, and just the shutter button makes such a nice sound. I don't know, you need to hold one of these cameras to understand like what I'm talking about. The feeling of it, it's so small in your hand, it feels robust, it feels durable, the qualities are insane, and just taking a photo feels luxury. It feels nice instead of holding like a huge big rig in your hand the whole time. So the good thing is, like, you've got this screen at the back, it's always on, right? And then when you go to the viewfinder, it's all electronic, so you can see what your image is going to be like in the viewfinder. That's the new thing about all these electric viewfinders, which you can see the Canon only shoots optical, so you actually look at like real time. But this, you can actually see your exposure, aperture, and your ISO, what the picture's going to be like. So you've got this screen here. I've got focus peaking on at the moment. Take the photo, but if I want to get more engaged in the camera, I can just go like this to the viewfinder and take it again. So I can switch between back of the screen, viewfinder, screen, and if I want to get down low, it comes out, flippy screen, but it doesn't flip round to the side. Sony, maybe you need to do that. But yeah, I'm fine with this, the flippy screen, because it allows me to get down here and it comes down like that as well, so I can get high shots. Yeah, it's just very refined, and they've thought about usability with this camera. It's very easy to use.
I love how easy to use it is.
Yeah.
Like, even I can use it.
Yeah, even Hannah can use it. She shoots on the A5000. It's kind of very similar because they're both mirrorless. So with the Canon, it doesn't have this capability, because when you're shooting on the Canon, the screen is black. You only have the viewfinders to look through, and then you get the playback once you've taken the photo. You don't have this screen here to show you what you're looking at. You have to change it into live view, and live view is terrible on Canon cameras. When you take the photo, it's like delayed, it doesn't do it quickly. With this, bang, straight away. With the Canon, it searches, like the focus is off and stuff, so that's not a very quick way. But looking through the viewfinder, I would probably say the Canon is a little bit quicker. You can click, click, click straight away. It's not showing you the playback in the viewfinder or on the screen. If you leave it, it will, but if you keep shooting, it won't. This camera, it always shows you the playback. I don't know if you can change that in the settings, but I like how it shoots at the moment. It's so just nice to shoot on. It's just so nice. You have to hold this. I mean, even the colour, this orange thing, sold. Do you know what I mean? Amazing. And the little like red little R, it's cool.
They've designed it really nicely.
Yeah, really nicely.
And it just looks a lot more modern.
It looks modern. It looks
like up to date with technology, whereas the Canon is so bulky.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't had the mic on top of this, but Canon is huge. So yeah, filming the Canon now, it's just a very big setup. I put a shot side by side to show you. I'll shoot it on my iPhone or something to show you the actual size of the difference between the Canon 7D and this Sony A7Rii. With my 20mm Sigma 1.4 and with the 50, I actually prefer shooting it in manual focus because of the focus peaking. It's almost easier than autofocus. You know when you're on point because of you can choose the colour. You can choose red, yellow or white. So it shows like a thin line of red colour when you're in focus. bang the shutter, you're in focus. Zoom in, it's crisp, sharp. These images are unbelievably sharp. When I was looking on my laptop, 85 megabytes, 42 megapixels. It's just a crazy amount of quality you can get out of this camera. There seems a lot to talk about this camera. This is just first impressions, and we are both like amazed with it. Even so, that my brother has the same camera and I've seen it in his hands. I've held it, I've took photos on his, but to actually hold it yourself and to know that it's yours, it feels different. When I'm holding this camera, my Canon, and then say if there was another Canon exactly the same, that one will feel different to your one. I don't know what it is, it just feels different because it's your own. That's what I'm trying to say. Like, it would feel different. If I had another Canon 7D right now and I was holding it here, it would feel completely different. I don't know. But do you get that? I always find myself filming in ridiculous weather conditions. Look at this fog right now. It's about what's degrees? Like 1 degree.
It's probably about 1.
It's freezing cold.
Most.
My hands are going numb. Look how dry my hands are, right? And I'm doing a first impression video. If I go on YouTube and type in A7R2, you know how now on YouTube you get the red bar at the bottom and it fades over when you've watched the video. If I search A7R2, for about 3 pages, they all have the red line and they're all watched. I've watched so many reviews on this camera, so many against the 5D Mark IV, against the Sony A7S II, against the Nikon, against the Canons, everything, right? So it's just a process of elimination to cut down the facts that'll come to this. A7S II, right. The reason why I didn't go for the A7S II is because I shoot stills and video, so I still wanted the high quality of the stills. 42 megapixel when the A7S II is only 12 megapixel, but the A7S II is really good in low light. But what I found out about this camera, it has an APS-C mode. It has an APS-C mode. You can change this camera into an APS-C sensor. Because it's mirrorless, because everything's electronic, you can change it. And that just blows my mind. It's crazy. APS-C. So that means it's Super 35. Now back to the low light on the A7S II. It's amazing in low light. This, I watched a video from Tony and Chelsea, their YouTube channel. It's a photography one. They talk about loads of cameras. They're a very good channel actually. And they said that the Super 35 mode is better at the top of the range, where you come into the very high ISOs. If you whack it in Super 35 mode, it's very, very good. Even though it crops, it turned out to be better than the A7S II at high ISOs. So I'm benefiting from amazing stills, 42 megapixel, 85 megabyte files, and it's a low light beast as well. Shoots 4K, it doesn't have an anti-A-listing filter when the Canon 5D Mark IV does, so it's raw, so quality is just insane. That's all probably the good signs I've talked about this camera. The downsides, now I read that the menu system is, some people say it's foul, it's disgusting, they can't understand it. Again, I had to factor in how to actually use this camera with the menu system. Now all those people that say that they can't understand the menu system, I have absolutely no problem with it. When shooting on this, I actually found it easier than shooting on my Canon. I don't know why, it just feels like the buttons are in the right place. I don't know why people say it's a horrible menu system. I mean, really, it's the same as the Canon. You have to go through 1 to 6, 1 to 9 or whatever, and on different tabs. But people were complaining that they put some things under a tab which shouldn't be in. But like, it doesn't really matter, who cares? If you know where it is, you know where it is, and you can go to it quickly, and you can select it. I mean, all cameras nowadays have millions of things you can go through. All these things on here, it takes ages to try and find something, but when it's just like anything. Shoot with the camera for a couple of days, get familiar with it, get comfortable with it, know where the settings are, and then you're done. There's no point complaining. Like, you pay for this camera, it's a lot of money, it shoots amazing quality, it shoots great 4K video, and you're complaining about the menu system. Why? just
Isn't it?
Yeah.
Just like get on with it.
Just get on with it and learn the menu system. That's what all this new technology is about, right? They're now doing self-driving cars. People are going to hate that completely. The new Macs, right? They don't have USB thingies, they don't have SD cards, they have this USB-C thing, and you have to have adapters. That's just what it's going to be. You have to get used to it. Right. Anything else?
Rant over?
Huh?
Rant over?
Yeah, rant over.
Chilly?
This weather is insane.
No.
No? I love this weather. Well, if it was a little bit warmer, because we're going back to the car now. I've got some more things I want to talk about. But yeah, this weather is absolutely insane. Look at this fog right now. Le château dans le Le château dans la Nubrie. À la campagne, je suis... No, à la campagne... No. How do you say, do you want to camp? So yeah, I haven't shown you that much of the camera and stuff like that, of like an in-depth detail thing. I kind of want to stay away from those videos. I just want to like show you that I got a new camera now, guys, and I'm really excited about it. Give you some like details, like few details on it, how it shoots, how it compares to my Canon, and that's basically what this video is going to be, just first impressions. And yeah, and this is crazy, I'm now a Sony shooter. Sony boys, hashtag Sony, like I've joined the club. Hannah shoots on the Sony, my brother shoots on the Sony, some other people I know shoot on Sony as well, and yeah, like they're killing it, they're taking over.
Wow. So this is the 20mm 1.4 by Sigma on the Sony A7Rii with the MC11 adapter. Shooting at 1.4 1/50th of a second, 24 frames, at ISO 2000, and I can't see any noise. Crazy. It's such a nice setup, guys. As I said, the autofocus works really well, actually. It's a little bit noisy because it is using the adapter, so that's working, but this is good for, you know, still shooting.
So back inside now. When we were driving back, there was this amazing like sunset over the trees, and the fog just looked insane. I'll throw a couple of shots in now that were taken on this, the R2. It was shot at 2000 ISO. Amazing what that camera can do. There's only a hint of grain and noise, but very crisp images, very crisp video. My Canon can barely go above 1000 ISO, and it just wouldn't cope in that condition. And it was shot on this 50mm. This 50mm costs like £80 now. It's a very cheap lens, and it produces really good results. Oh yeah, I was going to show you this lens. This lens I've had for ages. One of the first lenses I got because it was wide. It's 8mm, 8mm 16. It's 4 APS-C size sensors, bodies. So I had to factor in like, would this work as well? And I've already said this can change into APS-C, so let me show you that now. For this lens to work, it has to be on the MC11 adapter by Sigma. As you can see there, very nice adapter. So this is a Canon mount. It will show up like this. So it shows the adapter round the side of the edge of the lens. So to fix that, all you do, go in the menu, APS-C Super 35. Turn that on, and magic, it works. Can't see the adapter around the edges, very clean, shoots like it would shoot on my Canon 7D, so this is shooting APS-C, so it would cut some of the quality, but I had to factor in this lens because I do need this lens for work. Outside of YouTube, it's very important that this lens works, because to do what I do outside I have to have a very wide lens to shoot. So I was very pleased with this lens that it can work on this camera, and the autofocus works extremely well, even though it's an old Sigma lens paired with a new adapter. Yeah, I'm surprised like on how good this adapter thing is, and to not shoot native Sony. So I can go on for days about this camera. It's got a million things you can talk about. It's got 399 AF points, ISO can go up to 25,000, 42 megapixels, it's got Wi-Fi, it's got 5-axis stabilization, all this other incredible stuff in the camera. But this was just a first impression video. I'll probably do another one saying the actual major reasons that I changed from Canon to Sony and what's the process in doing that, and just general more detailed kind of video. I'll do like Sony A7Rii paired with the Sigma lens. I'll throw in a bunch of sample footage to show you, also with my other lenses and stuff. So to give you a taste of this camera, I'm going to use my brother's 16-35. I'm going to set it up like this, and I'll show you what that looks like. So this is the Canon 7D Mark II, shooting in auto mode, autofocus, 10-18, 4.5 to 5.6 lens on there. So that's that camera. Picture this, remember this, and now on to the Sony with the 16-35. A7Rii with the 16-35 f4 throughout. Does it look different? Does it look good? Does it look better? higher quality, nicer image. Let me know what you guys think of the new setup. This is the new setup. This is my brother's lens though. I do have to get my own native Sony lens eventually. But yes guys, this is set up. Apologise if the audio is really loud at the moment and it's like fuzzy because I haven't paired up the mic. I need to properly set that up. So yeah, I do apologise if this video is a little bit sloppy because it wasn't planned. Well anyway, first impression video is not really planned because it's first impressions, hands on the camera and going out and seeing what it is like. Like I said, I'm very excited to have this. I feel very lucky to have this camera. It's just insane to finally have a full frame camera. I just feel like a little bit more upgraded, a little bit up to date with technology now, and more professional, shooting at full frame, 42 megapixels. All right, guys, give it a like if you enjoyed the video. So I hope you had a good Christmas, guys, and Happy New Year. See you in the next one. Goodbye.